It's time for Fantasy News! Welcome everybody to another episode of Fantasy News. I'm your disheveled goblin host, Daniel Greene. You thought I forgot about it. I didn't. I'm going to call myself that whenever I remember to, kind of. And today, we're going to kick off the fantasy news with a Brandon Sanderson announcement. Today, yes, the day you are watching this, Brandon Sanderson is going to go live on YouTube at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. I don't know your local time, but if you just Google 1 p.m. MST, you will have the correct time for you to go ahead to check out his live stream show up, because you can compare it to your own and be like, okay, it's just 2 hours ahead. I'll go ahead and do it then. And that's how you'll be able to see Brandon Sanderson live. But quickly, before we move on to the rest of today's news, let's have a quick word from today's sponsor. And this video is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. I'm sure you've heard of Raid Shadow Legends by now because they're sponsoring other huge YouTubers like Internet Historian, and that's awesome. It's not like I thought we had something special, Raid. You know, you're a fantasy game. I'm a fantasy YouTuber. I thought we had a thing, but it's fine. It's whatever. I understand, and I forgive you because you're free to play. And you have over 400 champions to choose from. And with this latest big upgrade, the fact that you can play on desktop and mobile device, that means you can raid pretty much anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're in school and your teacher takes away your phone. If you're in a computer lab, you just, you put it in one of those tabs and you're like, boom, I'm playing Raid in school. I'm not saying fantasy is more important than school, but I mean, maybe. If you go into the description and you click that special link, you'll get 100,000 silver, 2 clan boss keys, 10 mystery shards, and 1 free epic champion, the Adjudicator. These rewards will only be available for 30 days. Look at all this treasure that's waiting for you. Go to that description, click that link, and join Raid Shadow Legends today. Well, we do now officially have Lord of the Rings casting. Robert Armayo has officially been cast to star in the upcoming Lord of the Rings TV show. I think he looks cool. He was in Game of Thrones. That's kind of a bonus, but I have a hard time judging actors if I don't have time to sit down and watch a bunch of their stuff, and I don't have time for that right now. So moving on to the next news. Of course, right on cue as I finish editing this episode of Fantasy News, Brandon Sanderson posts a Stormlight Archive update, which I will have linked, of course, right down below. So if you want to see the latest Stormlight update, it's right down there. My biggest takeaway, though, is when he said, everything is looking great for the final book in this sequence being 2023. Thanks, as always, for your patience. That means the first 5 of the planned 10 books, the last one should be out by 2023. Pips is about to jump in my lap. He's eyeing me. Okay, he's not going to do it. I think I scared him off. You going to do it? You going to do it? Yeah, there you go. Good timing. Disney has teased that the upcoming Willow adaptation has begun production. I have mixed feelings about this. I think everyone else's kind of excitement online that I've seen a few people really excited for this. It's kind of got me turned. So I'm like, all right, maybe this will be great. But I don't know. I have a really soft spot for the Willow movie that's already out there. Like, I watched it as a kid. It meant a lot to me growing up. I don't know if I'll be okay with a new one. It'll kind of be a thing. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I hope I'm okay with it. I hope it's great. But I'm skeptical. But to the Harry Potter mega fans out there who live in New York or just have the ability to travel long distances and are willing to do it for this, a Harry Potter store is officially opening in the Big Apple. Coming the summer of 2020, apparently the store will host a massive collection of Harry Potter merchandise and books and Fantastic Beasts stuff and the movies and everything. And yeah, it's going to be a place where you can go and get your Harry Potter nerdy stuff. I'm assuming it'll also just be a lot of the same merch you see at like Universal, just down in Florida, brought up to New York as well, and I'm just see this as a win. There's not really anything that could be bad here, right? It's just gonna be another great Harry Potter thing. Please no more Harry Potter drama, just let this be positive. Now transitioning into fantasy video game news here for a second. The upcoming Magic Legends has revealed its first bit of gameplay, and it's being very heavily compared to Diablo, and after taking a look at the trailer and the gameplay that was released, it's a fair comparison. I mean, it's a dungeon crawler, so a lot of them are kind of by default compared to Diablo, because it's like the touchstone for dungeon crawlers in a lot of ways. But overall, it looks interesting, it has a nice flair to it. I think the main reason it's being compared to Diablo so heavily, specifically, is the atmosphere, which a lot of dungeon crawlers, of course, have this kind of creepy atmosphere, but there's something specific about this that just really reeks of Diablo. I'm not saying it's a ripoff. I mean, Diablo doesn't own being a dungeon crawler, but hey, it looks interesting. I'm excited. Hopefully this Magic Legends games will be great. I got nothing against it. It's totally a Diablo ripoff. And now we're going to fantasy map news. Woo! I love maps. You guys know that about me. I'm angry when I open a fantasy book and there's not a map in it.
Give me a map.
You have no excuse not to. And for Witcher fans, we just got a doozy of a one. Linked, of course, down below, as well as everything else I talk about here today, is the Witcher map that has been released alongside the show with a timeline. So you can skip through time and space together to explore the Witcher world. I'm believing they probably released this because the amount of people I see in my review of the Witcher show and my what you need to know about Witcher and everything videos who are just very confused by the show's timeline still. I mean, there's some people who keep saying, like, only an idiot would be... No, if you haven't read the books and you don't pay close attention, a lot of people, like, watch shows that are on their phone, which if that makes you happy, that's fine. You're allowed to do that. But if you miss a few lines of dialogue, it can be kind of confusing of what's happening when. Well, now this beautiful map with all kinds of nice, organized timelines, you can figure out everything, who's, where, what, when. Beautiful. I love it. Thank you, guys. It's a cool little thing to go along with the show, and I'm always down for that. Like, it's free, doesn't hurt anybody, and it's just a nice little addition. I'm not gonna lie, I've rewatched the fight scene from the first episode of Witcher at the very end like a bajillion times. Like, it's just so well, it's just... Okay, sorry. I watched that a lot. Now it's time for a quick Marvel rumor. Usually I don't include rumors because they're kind of toxic for, like, fantasy books and stuff, but because it's Marvel, it's kind of different because there's just, like, who cares? It's a Marvel movie. It's not that big a deal. I'm not putting something on an author's shoulders, but let's talk about real quick news. It's being rumored that Christian Bale has been approached and is being offered a role in the upcoming Thor: Love and Thunder movie, and that's neat. I love Christian Bale as an actor. He does a pretty phenomenal job with every role I've ever seen him given. I kind of just like, all right, cool, Batman will be in a Thor movie if this is true, and that would be amazing, and he says yes. I'm hoping he'll be Beta Ray Bill. How would that not be the greatest casting for Christian Bale to be in this movie? I think that'd be pretty cool, but hey, man, it could be anybody. He could be not Beta Ray Bill. He could be anybody. He's probably going to be Beta Ray, but he's probably going to be Beta Ray Bill. Now let's go ahead and slide right into trailer news and just get that out of the way back to back. The upcoming Lock and Key over at Netflix dropped its first trailer, and I have seen a lot of hype. People looking forward to it, saying it looks good. As I've said before on this channel, I don't know much about Lock and Key. I hope it's great, and hey, if it is, maybe I'll get interested in the source material. That'd be a lot of fun. Next news, or trailer. Birds of Prey had a longer trailer drop where we finally got to see the villain and the mask. Some people get mad at me for saying things that are specific, so I'll just say it looks great, and it's cool to finally get a look at him. Ewan McGregor's phenomenal, and I can't wait to see him as Obi-Wan again. That's my biggest takeaway from this. Oh, and apparently also the Gotham City Sirens movie is on hold. And in the last trailer we're going to talk about here today, news, Devs Season 1 had a drop, and it looks like it's a science fiction creepy cult show with Nick Offerman. That is a sentence I never thought I would say, but it looks really interesting, and I will be checking this one out. You can't stop me. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna check it out. Try and stop me. Please don't. I'm fragile. It's from the director who did Ex Machina and Annihilation, and if you've seen either of those movies, you know this guy can direct, so yeah. I'm interested. Now, in a piece of news I'm largely covering just so I can read comments from people recommending something or not news, Mark Hamill apparently will make a guest appearance in What We Do in the Shadows Season 2. I bring this up because I loved the movie. I thought it was absolutely hysterical and enjoyed pretty much every moment of it, but is the show worth giving it a go? I was hesitant when I saw it was being made into a show as well, and if you like it, let me know. I'll check it out, and if you're a fan, I bet you're excited to hear Mark Hamill will be a guest star in Season 2. And in the final bit of news we're going to cover here today, apparently the Doctor Strange 2, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness director has dropped out. Scott Dickerson apparently will still be involved, but no longer will be the director. Many people are speculating online this may be related to Kevin Feige's recent comments that are backtracking the idea that it'll be a horror movie. That's kind of sad to hear. I was excited to see Marvel go in that direction, but he said it will still have horror elements, so I don't know where that's falling, and it seems like it's a decent chance that the horror director you hired on may be upset when you suddenly say this movie will not be a horror movie. I don't know, but that's all speculation. Seems like it's plausible, but I would say it's very much so just speculation. And that's the final news of the day. I'm not covering anything else. I won't even mention the fact that apparently Marvel's trying to cast a 10-year-old Loki. Damn it, I just did. Anyway, like and subscribe if you have not already. Hit the Patreon if you want to support what I do here. And have a good one, y'all. Be sure to tune in for the Brandon Sanderson live stream today. Peace. And of course, I'd like to record a special shout out to my latest high-tier Patreon, who I'm hoping is okay with his shout out being in fantasy news, and that's Funky Lou? Funky Lou, I think. L-O-U for the last one, so I'm going with that. Hope you're having a great one. Thank you for your support.